What is up, everybody? Happy Friday. I hope you all had a beautiful week. And since there was no new episode of Legacies last night, unfortunately, I thought I would do a little Q&A video about every show from the Vampire Diaries universe. So we've got the originals, we've got Vampire Diaries, we've got Legacies. I asked you guys to ask me questions, and you came up with a ton of questions. So I'm just going to get right into it. So let's get started. The first question came from Sarah, and this question is, Stefan or Damon? Well, Sarah, I would say Stefan because I love Stefan and I think he's such a sweetheart and I'm really just like obsessed with him. But I would say Damon for Elena. So like I'm team Stefan in terms of like individual characters, but for Elena, I would probably say Damon because I'm obsessed with Delena. All right, Alice says, oh, by the way, I have these on note cards because I'm like not professional. I didn't know how else to do it, so here we go. Alice asked, if you had any character be your best friend from any show, who would it be? In parentheses, no hope. First of all, Alice, I like that you know me very well and you know that I would definitely choose Hope to be best friends with. Even though she's kind of intimidating and not that nice all the time, I would still want to be friends with her because I think she'd be honest and give you that kind of like good, tough love that you need. If I could be friends with any character, I think it would be MG. And I know there's like a ton of characters in all three shows, but I just feel like MG and I have the most in common. And like, he's such a sweet guy. And like, who doesn't want to be best friends with MG, you know? So I'd say MG for sure. I really love MG. The next question comes from Gwen. And it's actually not a question at all. It's just two words, the pig. Yep. There was a pig in Legacies. And I think Gwen wants us to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. So... correct. Gecky asks, who is my favorite Michelson besides Hope? I feel like all of these questions were like slightly attacking me a little bit because all of the questions were like, besides Hope, but don't choose Hope. No hope. Like, y'all really don't want me to have any hope. No, but my favorite Michelsons besides Hope is Freya. There's Riley Volkow right there. I love Freya. I've always loved Freya. And I also really love Klaus, but I didn't start liking Klaus until like later on in the show. So I always just say Freya. Alexis asks, what is my favorite scene from the Vampire Diaries? And I am very passionate about this answer. I have one scene from the Vampire Diaries. It's 8 seasons, so it's like hard to choose just one scene. But I would say it's the scene, I believe it's in season 8, when Damon reads the letter that he wrote to Bonnie. I think that scene is so stunning. There's a song that plays in the background. They're like outside, it's nighttime, and the song that plays in the background is called Everything Has Grown, which has actually become one of my favorite songs of like all time. I'm obsessed with it. I think the scene is so gorgeous, and like Kat Graham delivered that scene, how she just had those like silent tears coming down her face. And I also just love the dynamic between Damon and Bonnie. So I love their friendship and I love their growth, and I thought that letter was like the pinnacle of their growth in their friendship, and I'm just obsessed with it. So I would definitely say my favorite scene of all time is Damon reading his letter to Bonnie. It's so good. The next question is from Lucy, and Lucy says, do you think the Vampire Diaries and the originals had the right endings? Well, Lucy, I'm glad you asked this question because I actually have I think it's an unpopular opinion, but I actually do think that the Vampire Diaries and the originals had the right endings. I thought their endings were perfect and I really, really loved them because I always love anything that is like fulfilling and hopeful at the end and peaceful at the end and just brilliant, but also makes me cry because I love like being able to emote to TV shows and cry. So, I mean, the originals ending was amazing. And I also didn't really feel like it was like a definitive ending just because we were moving so like seamlessly into Legacies of Hope being like, and I'm going to go to the school. So I didn't really feel like the originals was as much of a goodbye. Obviously, we said goodbye. Spoilers. Obviously, we said goodbye to 2 very important characters in the originals, but it was kind of sad and perfect and beautiful and wonderful. So I actually really liked that ending, but I would definitely say like the Vampire Diaries ending wins for me because it was just like exquisitely perfect. Obviously there's things in both that I might have done differently, but I'm not the writer, so it doesn't matter. What we were given with the Vampire Diaries finale is like the epitome of nostalgia, and I love that episode so much. I love the music. We've got Take on the World, Hold On, Never Say Never, like such good music, and I just like, music to me is like a huge part of the show, so I think it really made the finale what it needed to be. We had great moments with Elena and her family at the end. Oh my gosh. And like everybody's at peace and wonderful. And it was kind of the opening to Legacies because we saw like the boarding school be created. So long answer short, yes, I think they had the right endings. All right, the next question comes from Fra or Frey. I'm not sure which one, but I loved this question. And it says, do you like Elena? I feel like she's overhated. I actually really do like Elena. I really do. I think I relate to Elena a lot. I think she's been through a ton of trauma in her lifetime, and I think we meet her at a time where she's trying to like figure out how to get herself out of this like really dark place. And like, yes, Stefan comes Stefan comes along and helps her out of this dark place, but in the end, Elena does the hard work to get herself to a place, and she finds peace in the end. And I think there's something so incredible about watching that journey happen for Elena, and watching her be able to overcome these really dark and hard feelings, I think gives me a lot of hope. And I also see a lot of hope in Elena, and so yeah, I really do like Elena. Alexa says, see you at the Super Squad Con. Well, Alexa, thank you so much for that wonderful opportunity to plug Super Squad Con. Guys, Super Squad Con, hosted by Gold Rush Events, is happening this December 2022. It is going to be the most fun ever. You should get tickets. The link is in my bio. You can get tickets. You can use the code Maddie10 for a discount, and you can come and have so much fun. And we get to chill with the cast of Legacies. We get to chill and be best friends, and it's just going to be the best time ever. So please come to Super Squad Con, and I can't wait to see everybody there. But thank you, Alexa. That was perfect. Caitlin asks, who is your favorite overall ship from any of the 3 shows? Delana. I love Delana. I think Delana is beautiful, exquisite, perfect, wonderful, and everything, and all of the above, and they are everything to me. So Delana. Melody asks, who is your favorite character and villain from each show? Well, Melody, my favorite character from Legacies is gonna be hard to believe. Drumroll, please. Hope Michelson. I bet you didn't see that coming. Favorite character from Hope Michelson. Favorite character from Hope Michelson. Favorite character from Legacies is Hope Michelson. Favorite villain is the Necromancer. I really like the Necromancer. I think he's like interesting and fun, and I love Ted, and whoever the actor is, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's really great. He plays Ted and the Necromancer so well that I just love it. From the originals, my favorite character is Marcel. I'm obsessed with Marcel. Also, guys, can we just take a minute to talk about the fact that Marcel is coming to Legacies? I'm so excited about this. I don't even think you understand. Like, I'm so excited to see Freya and Rebecca again, and even Cole, I guess. I don't know. I don't really care about Cole. But I'm so excited to see Marcel. I never thought that I would see the day that Marcel is back, and I'm so excited because he's like my favorite character ever. Definitely my favorite male character in the entire Vampire Diaries universe. Marcel is coming to Legacies. Okay, sorry. Back to the question that Melody asked. So Marcel is my favorite character in the originals. My favorite villain is Aurora, because I just love her, and I think she's super nuanced and just amazing. I would say Aurora is my favorite villain in Legacies too, but I was trying to have different answers for each. The Vampire Diaries, I would say my favorite character is probably Stefan, because I just think he's sweet and wonderful, and I mean, yeah, he has a little bit of a dark side, but don't we all? And then I would say my favorite villain is Kai, because look at him. Come on. Sophia says, who is my favorite TVDU duo, but not romantic ship? My favorite TVDU duo is obviously Hope and Marcel. I think that they're wonderful and so sweet, and I love their relationship. Are they brother and sister? Are they uncle and niece? We might never know the answer to that question, but I really love their duo, and I think that Marcel has a really like big soft spot for Hope. Even when Marcel wasn't like a big fan of the Michelsons, he always had Hope's back, and he taught her to close her eyes and sing, which is just so sweet. So Marcel and Hope, and I'm so excited to see their duo again in Legacies. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so excited. Amelia says, is there one thing, warning, I will be talking about Hosey. If that's triggering for you, you've been warned, and if you don't like Hosey, it'll be a quick answer. It says, is there one thing you wish would have happened between Hope and Josie before Josie left? There actually is, and a lot of you are probably going to assume it's like, oh, I wish they kissed and were endgame, but that's not the case, actually. I just wish that Hope and Josie would have had a firm goodbye scene, because I feel like Hope has had to say goodbye to so many people that didn't choose to leave her. And in a sense, Josie kind of chose to leave. I mean, like, for whatever reason she left, she chose to leave and didn't say goodbye to Hope. And I think that when Hope's humanity comes back, that's really going to affect her. So I wish we could have seen a goodbye scene between the two of them. Khadijah, I think that's how you pronounce it. If not, I'm so sorry. Khadijah asked, Claraline, Clamille, or Clarora? First of all, is Clarora their actual ship name? Because if it is, that is not a great one. But this question is hard for me because I actually really like Claraline, Clamille, and Clarora. I think they're all important for Klaus in their own ways. But if I had to choose just one, I would say Clamille. I'm a sucker for Cammy. I love Cammy so much. Next to Marcel, she's probably my favorite character from the originals. So yeah, I don't know. I really like them. And then I also like Stefan and Caroline, so it kind of works because if I have Camille, Stefan and Caroline can be together, and I feel bad for Aurora. Like, I really do. So I would have been happy with Aurora and Klaus too, but Cammy and Klaus for sure. All right, Iana, I think that's how you say it. Iana asks, favorite quote from each show? Well, I love quotes. I'm a very quotey person. I love inspirational quotes and stuff like that. I can't think of one from the originals off the top of my head, but from Legacies, I do have a favorite, and I believe it's from season 1, episode 4. And it's when Hope and Lizzie and Sasha are outside the Salvatore school, and Hope tells Lizzie to tell Sasha that it's gonna hurt like it always will, but eventually she'll remember the good times and she should hold on to those because it's the key to getting through this, like the key to getting through grief. And I'm obsessed with that quote, and I actually think about it a lot because dealing with stuff in my personal life, I always think about that quote, and I'm like, hold on to the good moments because that's, important. So I really love that quote. I think it's super well done, and I thought Danielle delivered it brilliantly. And then from the Vampire Diaries, it's kind of basic, but my favorite quote is from the last episode, and it's Elena, and she says, but pain is the cost of living. Like love, it's how we know we're alive. That quote is so good because it's so true. The hard stuff reminds us that we're still here and we still have a lot to fight for and that we're alive, which, that's the biggest kind of blessing, if you want to call it that, of all. And I think just remembering to be grateful for that, as cheesy as it sounds, I love that quote so much. All right, the last question came from Malia. The last question for now. There could be a part 2. I don't really know. There were so many good questions, but Malia takes the cake because I thought this question, I've never actually been asked this question before, and I thought it was so interesting. So Malia, congratulations on having an amazing question. I mean, they're all amazing. I'm very grateful for all questions, but this one was just super cool. And Malia asked, if you could tell any character what was coming from the start, who would it be? Whoa, Malia. Wow. If I could tell any character from the start what was coming, I had to really think on this question because at first I was like, maybe Klaus, maybe Elena, I don't know. But I actually think I would choose Caroline. I think I would tell Caroline from the start what was coming for her because in the beginning of the show, Caroline was so insecure and so down on herself and so hard on herself. And I think I would just want to tell Caroline that things get so much better for you and you have this beautiful growth and you have 2 beautiful daughters and you have a really great life and you've come a long way. And maybe that would let her not be so hard on herself in the beginning. So I think I would tell Caroline. Yeah, that's all the questions. So thank you guys so much for so many incredible questions. I had a lot of fun reading through them and kind of seeing what you guys wanted to know. And I was thoroughly surprised and happily surprised that there weren't a ton of ship questions. It was a lot of really interesting questions about the 3 universes. So thank you so much for that. Also, I have to do it because I'm a huge Olivia Rodrigo fan. Today is Friday, which means Olivia Rodrigo's new movie, Driving Home to You, is out on Disney+. So I love Olivia. I'm so proud of Olivia, and she's just doing amazing things. She's winning all these crazy awards. She's nominated for 7 Grammys. She's performing at the Grammys. Now she has a movie, so I cannot wait to watch it. I am so freaking excited. So watch that if you like Olivia Rodrigo and you want to, or even if you don't love Olivia Rodrigo and you want to love Olivia Rodrigo, watch the movie. And I'm so excited to say I will see you guys next Friday. I do this every time. I'll see you next Friday for a Legacies reaction video. We're almost back to being able to watch Legacies. So I will see you guys next Friday, and have a good week.